One day, the world changed forever with the release of the virtual reality masterpiece, Aries. Every NPC in this realm is powered by advanced artificial intelligence. They possess independent souls, capable of judgment and free will. Aries isn't just a game, it is a breathing alternate dimension forged by the Azure Corporation. Using godlike technology, they created actual deities. The gods of Aries personally judge the players, bestowing divine abilities upon those who prove their worth. Those blessed by these divine revelations are destined to become legendary heroes, etched into history. Of course, ambition knows no bounds. Players can build empires and rise as absolute rulers. In short, if you can dream it, you can do it. Aries is the land where the impossible becomes reality. The moment it launched, global culture shifted on its axis. Right now, a fresh wave of players stands in the beginner village, eager to taste this new life. Uniquely, your real-world physique dictates your in-game potential, meaning players can only customize their cosmetic appearance. Suddenly, a commotion draws the crowd's attention to the central stage. It is the infamous launch event that has stumped everyone. The challenge: destroy a wooden puppet with only 10 strikes. The prize, a 50 million won premium game capsule and a massive 5-point boost to all stats. But this is a trap for the arrogant. It is far more hellish than it appears. After all, even national gold medalists have been humiliated here, including the legendary Victor Hahn. The consensus is clear: this quest is impossible. Just then, a hulking shadow emerges from the back of the crowd. It is Madu Seak, known as the strongest primate alive. Rumors say this beast can strangle a black bear with his bare hands. If anyone can crush this puppet in under 10 hits, it is him. He roars, channeling every ounce of his monstrous strength, and unleashes a devastating punch at the target. Meanwhile, deep in the operations room, the developers watch the screens with bated breath. They are desperate for Madu Seak to succeed. If even a powerhouse like him fails, player morale will plummet. The team leader nervously considers manually tweaking the system difficulty, but he knows the director would never allow it. Suddenly, disaster strikes. Madu Seak's challenge ends in utter failure. This is a catastrophe. The devs prepare to flee before the players riot, but a sudden report freezes them. "Sir, a new challenger has entered the arena." The team leader scoffs. Does this newcomer really think he can succeed where a beast failed? He is clad in the basic starter rags, but the weapon in his hand? It looks like a cheap item bought with real money. The crowd sneers. Thinking cash can buy skill is the fatal mistake of every rookie. The devs turn to leave, losing interest when suddenly a sharp, clean sound cuts through the noise. The wooden puppet slides apart, sliced perfectly in two. A system window explodes into view. Congratulations. You are the first player to destroy the puppet. All stats increase by 5 points. 200 fame points acquired. In the control room, the developers stand in stunned silence. Is he a hidden master? No. His profile says he is just an ordinary civilian. Wait, check his weapon grade. Now, leader. The data is glitching. That glow. It's the Radiance attribute, an epic grade weapon with no level restriction. The team leader's jaw drops. An epic weapon at level 1. Who in the world is this guy? To understand, we must rewind the clock. His name is Hyun-soo. He was once the sole heir to a world-class master blacksmith, destined for greatness. But a catastrophic fire turned his destiny to ash. That accident left his right arm permanently damaged. His dream of wielding the hammer was over before it began. With a crippled arm, even basic labor was agonizing. Yet, crushed by medical debt, he had no choice but to toil away at construction sites just to survive. Then, one fateful day, his childhood friend Jihun came looking for him. Jihun spoke of Aries and its impossible event. He reminded Hyun-soo that no celebrity or athlete had cracked it yet. But if you do it, Jihun urged, that 50 million won capsule is yours. Hyun-soo, to shatter that puppet, you don't need muscles. You need the eyes of a blacksmith. You have a chance. Jihun had already spent 10 million won on a high-sync capsule. It was a gamble, but he called it a solid investment. Succeed in the quest, and we get the rewards. Plus, in Aries, gold converts to real cash. Stop hesitating, just try it. Aries has a blacksmith class. Hyun-soo, don't forget who you are. You are the heir to a grandmaster. With your technique, A wooden doll is nothing. However, Hyunsoo remained cold. He believed his broken body had no place in a world of heroes. He politely rejected the offer, turning away. But Jihun exploded in frustration. How long will you live like a loser? Your medical bills are over 3 billion won. That is an astronomical debt. You said you wanted to be a blacksmith for life in Aries. Your arm works. It only costs 10 million to start. I can cover the entry fee. Can't you trust your friend just this once? Hearing the desperation in Jihun's voice, Hyunsoo finally paused. His friend's words echoed in his mind, blending with the phantom sound of a hammer striking steel, calling him home. A fire has been lit within Hyunsoo's restless soul, a blaze that can no longer be contained as he stands before the capsule. Visions of searing heat and the rhythmic symphony of steel fill his mind. Father, watch me. I will lift the hammer once again. Moments later, Hyunsoo dives into the abyss of Aries, scanning physique. In a heartbeat, his broken body is rewritten into perfection, confirming physique. Yes, the scars are erased, and the legendary power in his right hand has returned to its former glory. Jihun, I owe that guy 10 million won. I'll have to work myself to the bone to repay this debt. A flash of azure light tears through the darkness. Hyunsoo descends into Rennie's smithy in the Baldan territory, the beginner's village. Just then, the grumbling of a frustrated blacksmith cuts the air. Damn those instructors, I'll forge a blade that puts their garbage to shame. He strikes the metal with raw fury, but suddenly, Hyunsoo's voice cuts through the ringing steel. Stop. That is not the way. You aim to craft a lethal weapon, but your technique will only birth scrap metal. I know my words are bold, but I see the fire of a true artisan in your eyes. I cannot simply stand by and watch you walk the wrong path. The blacksmith's eyes narrow with intrigue. You speak as if you hold the secrets of the trade. If you are so confident, then prove it. My eyes will catch every flaw if you are merely bluffing. Hyunsoo pauses. His original plan was to build a relationship slowly, but fate has offered a shortcut. This works perfectly. He counters with a bold wager. If I prove my skill, the sword I forge belongs to me. Watch closely. I will hide nothing. The blacksmith accepts the challenge without a second thought. But be warned. Arrogance comes with a heavy price. Hyunsoo grips the hammer. He cannot guarantee his old prowess remains, but the thrill is intoxicating. Clang with every strike, the ghosts of his painful past flash before his eyes. But the pain only fuels his fire. The sleeping dragon within him awakens, greeting the searing heat and the familiar song of metal. His body remembers everything. Meanwhile, the blacksmith watches, his skepticism slowly turning into fascination. This kid, he actually has talent, but it's likely just amateur tricks. Still, why is he smiling like a madman? Happiness puts no food on the table. In this harsh world, only results dictate survival. Without transcendent skill, one hits a wall that cannot be climbed. But then, the blacksmith notices something impossible. Folding the steel, striking, and folding again. It is a lost technique that purifies the metal while multiplying its durability. How did I miss such a simple yet divine concept? Does this truly work? He activates his appraisal eye. The steel has evolved from D grade to C grade in an instant. Shock hammers his heart. He has never seen such rapid growth. He wasn't lying. But surely, this must be his limit. Time passes. The groggy blacksmith wakes from a nap on the bench. But when he looks up, his jaw drops in horror. The madman is still at it, hammering, heating, refining. Hyunsoo is a machine of pure determination. The appraisal eye flashes once more. B-grade cold sweat drenches the blacksmith's back. He has reached B-grade with pure instinct, and he refuses to stop. Is he aiming for the realm of the gods? Suddenly, Hyunsoo stumbles, his stamina depleted. The blacksmith rushes in, his pride forgotten. Tell me what to do, I will be your hands. Together, they strike as one. The steel roars and ascends to A grade. This is enough to craft a rare tier weapon. A rare weapon has never been born in the beginner village. History is being written in this humble shop. But for Hyunsoo, this is merely the starting line. The blacksmith stares, trembling. You truly are a monster. You want the sword, yes. Then use this restart the process. This is mithril, the sacred mineral passed down through my bloodline. I have learned much from you, but this material is beyond my humble skills to shape. I must witness what kind of miracle you can create with the metal of legends. Hyunsoo hesitates, weighing the risk. Mithril does not exist in the real world. For someone who has never touched it, this is a gamble with destiny. I have no choice. Destiny calls, assist me, and learn. 1 month of grueling labor later, the masterpiece is born. System alert, epic grade, weapon radiance fills the room, no level restriction, special abilities unlocked. Note, a unique artifact that will never appear in the beginner village again. A legendary blade forged by the hands of a god-tier craftsman. The timeline returns to the present. This mysterious player forged a mithril sword and conquered the impossible puppet challenge. Deputy Lee frantically pulls up Kang Hyunsoo's data. He's logging in from a friend's connection. Aries just received his capsule delivery address, but he has invoked the absolute privacy clause for his real-world identity. The team leader is baffled. If we announce this achievement, he would be a global superstar overnight. Why does he choose the shadows? There must be a method to this madness. But where is he now? He has stepped into the lion's den, the hunter training ground. Meanwhile, Arsen's voice drips with skepticism. Listen, kid. The true nightmares begin here. I can see your pathetic level. I am sorry, but a level 1 novice has no chance of surviving this trial. Stop wasting my time. Go back and hunt rabbits nearby until you are ready. Yet, Hyunsoo stands there, utterly bewildered. Can he not perceive my hidden stats? Whatever, let's just get this over with. Go ahead, choose any blade from the armory. If any blade will do, may I use my own creation. As Hyunsoo steps onto the field, the higher-ups watch with bated breath. The report is baffling. He refused to leave the beginner village for an entire month. He has grinded his basic stats to an insane degree. More importantly, he possesses the only epic grade weapon in the entire zone. He hasn't even chosen a class yet. Should we really stand back and let the system, Aries, decide his fate? The director remains calm. Is he not standing in the Balden training ground right now? Even he cannot predict where destiny leads. Let us simply observe how high this rookie can climb. Back in the arena, Arsen is taken aback. This boy insists on wielding that crude piece of metal. Wait, is that a handcrafted blade? Is this kid a blacksmith? A smirk tugs at Arsen's lips. Listen well, the beasts in here are monsters of pure destruction. Even elite swordsmen struggle here, let alone a crafter with a toy weapon. If your path is the forge, why step onto the battlefield? System instructor Arsen's affinity has dropped by 10 points, but Hyunsoo remains unmoved. Compared to the hell of reality, this judgment is nothing. They called blacksmithing a useless dream, but the world of Aries is different. This is the one place where blood and sweat are truly rewarded. I will become the greatest swordsman to ever walk these grounds, so please, give me your most impossible trial. Arsen's face twists in irritation. The arrogance. Does this novice think this is a game? I have trained thousands. Do you think my eyes deceive me? Suddenly, his anger shifts into a cruel smile. Very well, follow me. My duty is to weed out the weak, but for the truly exceptional, I offer a special kind of hell. Know this, the highest record ever achieved here is the Stage 3 trial. You would face a level 6 goblin with godlike speed. Fail, and you are banned from these grounds for a week. Understood. But Hyunsoo looks disappointed. Only Stage 3. I want to clear the absolute highest difficulty in a single run. Arsen snaps. If the boy wants death, he shall have it. He summons the Stage 4 Nightmare, a level 15 Berserker Goblin. Only a handful of legends have cleared Stage 3, but Stage 4, no one has ever survived it. In a flash, the beast lunges, but Hyunsoo doesn't flinch. He decisively triggers his weapon's secret art. Skill, activated Resilient Blade. Physical attack rises by 12%, defense boosted by 8% for 40 seconds. Boom! With a single, thunderous crash, the Berserker Goblin is obliterated. But the trial isn't over. Another beast attacks from the blind spot. He's too slow to dodge. The blade bites deep into his flesh. Arsen watches coldly. A critical hit. It should be fatal. But then, the instructor's eyes widen in shock. A level 1 player tanked a critical hit from a level 15 monster. It is the power of his crafting mastery. His base stamina and strength defy logic, but the nightmare is far from over. The true test begins now. The Berserker Goblin unleashes its ultimate move, Berserk Thrust. The attack slams into Hyunsoo, and red warning lights flash. Multiple debuffs are eating away at his life. Even Arson has to admit it. The kid is a monster, but this is his limit. Facing two charging beasts, Hyunsoo calmly raises his blade. I trust the steel I forged with my own hands. Passive skill, Radiance, Unterschweigen. Skill Swift Blade, and for 1 second, his attack speed explodes by 1.7 times. A flash of silver light, in a single breath, the enemies are decimated. The observers turn pale, cold sweat running down their spines. Arson's expression shifts from shock to pure ecstasy. This rookie just achieved the impossible. Your form was rough, but effective. You used the blade's weight for chain combos. You actually understand the soul of swordsmanship. Of course, someone once told me to forge a weapon, you must first know how to kill with it. Arson glances at the calluses and scars on Hyunsoo's hands, and in that moment, he understands everything. That is the hand of a true master. I apologize for my arrogance. System Instructor Arson's affinity has reached maximum level. Arson steps forward, his eyes burning with intensity. Your talent is too great to waste. Will you accept the mantle of the Lord of Light? A legendary class. Behind the scenes, the director and team leader are frozen in disbelief. He bypassed the Light Knight entirely. He just offered a novice the legendary hidden class Lord of Light. With just this display, he has already secured his status as a Tier 2 special management player, but truly, this is only the beginning. The moment he accepts this class change quest, his destiny is sealed. The Lord of Light, a glorious entity who commands hundreds of holy knights. This is a guardian of the world we are speaking of. The instructor insists, I do not make this offer lightly, boy. You possess the soul necessary to become the king of knights. Yet, Hyunsoo's answer is swift and decisive. I am not a knight, he declares, his eyes burning with conviction. I am a blacksmith, just as the instructor feared. His will is like iron. You are truly impressive. And in the real world, Hyunsoo believed he would never lift a hammer again. But here, within the world of Aries, he feels his life as a master craftsman has been reborn from the ashes. Suddenly, a system window materializes before his eyes. Hidden quest unlocked. Rank B, an objective audience with the Lord. Take this, the instructor commands. My personal letter of recommendation. Go to the Lord's castle immediately. Someone there has been waiting for a special blacksmith of your caliber as a parting gift. The instructor hands Hyunsoo a set of armor once worn by the Lord of Light himself, although time has been cruel, leaving it rusted and stripped of its divine power. If it is you, the instructor whispers, you can restore its glory. Go achieve the impossible. Far away, hidden behind the veil of the system, two administrators finally breathe a sigh of relief. They have witnessed the birth of a legend. The potential for a mere blacksmith to ascend and become the god of blacksmiths. Having conquered the hunter training grounds, Hyunsoo accepts the main quest and steps into the vast territory beyond. With the tutorial officially complete, his true saga begins now. However, before he can dive deeper, reality calls him back. He must disconnect. Even though he has found his rhythm in the game, the crushing weight of the real world remains. His father's hospital bills, the cost of survival. These are battles he cannot ignore. Right on cue, his phone rings. It is Jihun. I heard you crushed the training grounds. Now the real wealth opens up to you, the auction house. The auction house is the heart of the economy. List your crafted gear there, Hyunsoo, and you will earn gold coins. 10 gold coins equals 10,000 won. This is a merchant's paradise. This is exactly why I begged you to play Aries. Jihun's voice turned serious. Do you know what I realized in this world? I have never seen weapons that could rival what you and your father created. I told you, didn't I? You are destined for success. Once you secure that premium game capsule Aries rewards you with, you will be unstoppable. Motivated, Hyunsoo hangs up and fuels his body. From this moment on, every waking second is dedicated to crafting and questing. Yet, even this cannot compare to the brutal workload of a real-world blacksmith. But Aries is demanding. It requires real physical endurance. And so, he trains his body as relentlessly as he trains his skills. Father, his gaze is filled with determination. Wait for me just a little longer. I promise. I will bring you back. With his resolve hardened, Hyunsu dives back into the game. He connects to the auction house interface. Please enter shop name. He types without hesitation Hyun's Blacksmith. In a flash, he is transported to his personal digital courtyard. A notification chimes. You may now access the auction bulletin board. He stands there, contemplating his inventory. Aside from his main gear, there is only one item, an experimental blade he forged. A rare grade sword usually fetches about 70 gold coins, but remembering Jihun's advice not to undervalue his work, he boldly sets the price at 100 gold coins. Hoping for the best, he heads into the village to study the system. He has no idea of the storm he just created. The moment that listing goes live, the entire player base is sent into a frenzy. They are shocked by the weapon's attributes. A level 1 creation made by someone without a class, the bid price begins to skyrocket instantly. Meanwhile, at the Golden Shield Guild headquarters, Bram urgently contacts the Vice Guild leader. That sword is a masterpiece. I heard the creator is a classless level 1, yet he forged a supreme blade from the crudest materials. Listen to me, this sword has equipment enhancement slots. Usually, low-grade materials mean a high failure rate. Even throwing money at it doesn't guarantee success. But this first sword can be used all the way to level 50. It even has an active skill. Bram slams his hand down. We must acquire this weapon at all costs. The entire guild goes into an uproar. They must have it. Back in the village, Hyunsu feels a wave of anxiety. He worries he aimed too high. What if nobody buys it? Ding. A system window flashes. Your item, Hyun's first sword, has been sold. Please review your earnings. He freezes, completely stunned. It's sold instantly, but looking at the final price, his jaw drops. It sold for a staggering 1 million won. This is absolutely fantastic. The buyer is none other than Bram of the Golden Shield Guild. A message arrives instantly. It is an honor to purchase Hyun's first creation. Our guild doors are always open to a genius like you. We would like to offer you an exclusive sales contract or a seat at our table. Contact me anytime. His eyes lock onto the interface. The Golden Shield Guild commands a staggering army of 780,000 followers. As Jihun once warned, gaining true followers is a feat far more grueling than simply grinding levels. A massive following implies influence. It means countless players are watching every move the guild makes. And in this world, attention equals currency. Yet, his humble blacksmith shop currently sits at a measly 82 followers. While recruitment invitations from major guilds flood the network, the world of Aries is desperate. Master blacksmiths are vanishing from reality, making their technical value in-game absolutely unparalleled. They are the hidden stars that shine brilliantly within Aries. At that moment, Hyunu arrives at the imposing gates of the Lord's castle. He knows the time isn't right to pledge loyalty to any guild. After all, he hasn't even unveiled a fraction of his true potential. It is time to prove his own worth. Inside the hall, the Lord speaks with a heavy heart. Bell, is there truly no other way? Yes, my lord. Yes. The risk is simply too great. Attempting a restoration could result in catastrophic failure, shattering the bow permanently. We require the continent's most legendary restoration expert. But such masters are reclusive hermits, hidden away from the world's prying eyes. The weight of these words crushes the Lord's spirit. I cannot abandon the duties of my territory to chase ghosts. This is the only memento my father left behind. It is a unique artifact, unseen by modern eyes. Hope begins to fade. But in the shadows, a sinister smirk curls Bell's lips. Beneath the facade lies a predatory level 100 player belonging to the thief class. His approach to Lord Vance reeks of ulterior motives. Then entrust it to me. Give me the bow and the gold, and I shall handle the restoration. Hand it over, and I will transport it to the capital for a perfect repair. But suddenly, a presence materializes behind them. I can restore it. That bow can be brought back to glory right here and now. Lord Vance freezes, utterly astonished. You claim you can fix a weapon consumed by fire. Guards, where did this intruder come from? The guard immediately snaps to attention. My lord. He bears a letter of recommendation from instructor Arsan. Arsan. You mean the legendary Arsan from the beginner hunter training grounds? The lord's demeanor shifts, his voice heavy with authority. As the lord of Baldan territory, I command you to state your abilities. Music. Lord Vance demands to know your class and rank. Hyunu steps forward calmly. My name is Hyunu. I stand before you as a level 1 with absolutely no class. Hearing this, Bell explodes with fury. A mere level 1 dares to show such arrogance before the Lord? You are classless trash. Only a level 80 blacksmith can even attempt restoration skill. Are you completely ignorant? This is an epic grade recurve bow. Do you have any idea how long I studied this? But Hyunu's next words strike like a hammer on an anvil. This is not a recurve bow. It is a horn bow. The room plunges into a stunned silence. Hyunu continues, his voice steady as steel. Guard Beck briefed me on the situation. The heirloom your father passed down was ravaged by fire, and you seek its restoration. It possesses a unique form, gifted long ago by a mysterious foreigner. Music. Suddenly, the Lord cuts him off sharply. I am usually patient with outsiders, but I am weary of fools disrespecting my family's legacy. Speak only if you are prepared to take full responsibility for your words. Hyunu meets his gaze without flinching. Then let me confirm one thing. Although this bow was a gift from a foreigner, it was crafted right here within this territory. Was it not? Upon entering the hall, I noticed a painting of a creature resembling a buffalo. In my world, buffalo horns are a material of exquisite rarity. Furthermore, the bowstring tells its own story. It does not use common cattle sinew, but whale sinew. Can you deny this? Music? The Lord's eyes widen in shock. That is correct. The foreigner was a blacksmith and a close friend of my father. The painting depicts a herd of giant buffalo monsters. Giant buffalo horns and whale sinew are legendary materials found only in the swamps and river ports of the Baldan territory. That master craftsman utilized these supreme materials to forge this very bow. He gifted it to my father. I never imagined a stranger would uncover the material secrets that even level 100 blacksmiths failed to see. I cannot stand by and watch this heirloom turn to ash. I have been desperate for a savior to repair it. Your name is Hyunu. Correct. Please, lend me your strength and restore this legacy. A system notification rings out. Quest accepted. Mission restore Lord Vance's horn bow. Rank A. Reward 500 gold coins. The Lord turns to Bell with a dismissive wave. You may leave. I will summon you if needed. Bell trembles with humiliated rage. Damn it. Who does this guy think he is? Just you wait. I will make you regret crossing me. Moments later, the Lord asks Hyunu what is required for the ritual. Can you procure buffalo horn and whale sinew? I will also require oak, mulberry, bamboo, and a set of crafting tools. As Hyunu's fingers graze the horn bow, the blueprint for restoration flashes before his eyes. The memories of his father teaching him the art of bow making flood back. Now, he must rely on the sensation of the materials against his skin, with the GamePod's 99% synchronization rate. The line between reality and virtuality blurs, allowing his muscle memory to execute his father's legendary techniques. The Lord stepped down from his pedestal to stand by Hyunsu's side. Allow me to lend my strength. United by a single purpose, they divided the labor and began the sacred process of refining the materials, and before long, the Lord was gasping for air, sweat dripping from his brow, and seeing the pure joy on Hyunsu's face, a surge of adrenaline washed away his fatigue. Time dissolved into the rhythm of the hammer. A week flew by in the blink of an eye. The Lord pushed his body to the breaking point, but Hyunsu still needed his aid to shape the very soul of the weapon. My lord, you endured this toil because you wish to restore your father's legacy with your own hands. Do you not? The question hung in the hot air. Precisely. This bow holds the spirit of my father and myself. The Lord smiled gently. And you, Hyunsu, your eyes light up whenever you touch the horn bow. That is true. I too hold many precious memories. But restoring the past requires blood, sweat, and time. Day 10 passed, day 15, day 20. On the final day, the hammer struck its last blow. They had done it. The horn bow, christened Archer, was complete. Sound of heavenly chime. An epic grade masterpiece. The attributes flashed before their eyes. It was a weapon far more refined and devastating than the original. The scene shifted to the solemn hall. The Lord approached his father's statue, his heart heavy with emotion. "Father, are you watching? Just like that day. A mysterious stranger has returned this gift to me. My lord, do not just stare. Test its metal. Does it still sing as it did in the past?" The lord drew the string taut. With a sharp release, the arrow pierced a target 10 meters away. "It is different. This power, it far surpasses the bow of my memories." Suddenly, a golden system window materialized. Performance exceeds 100%. Restoration complete success. Affinity with the Lord has reached the maximum level. Hyunsu, my gratitude knows no bounds. Compared to the miracle you have performed, this reward is far too meager. Take this additional 2,000 gold coins. Furthermore, the Royal Blacksmith Shop is now yours to use as you please. Oh. Hyunsu's eyes widened in delight. 2,000 gold coins? In the real world, that was worth over 2 million won. It was enough to sustain his livelihood for quite some time. Suddenly, the Lord's tone turned serious. "Tell me, do you have any desire to learn the way of the sword?" A shockwave rippled through the air. The Lord was offering to teach him swordsmanship. Before he ruled Baldin, he was a legendary swordsman. He had forged his reputation with the flame swordsmanship, a technique so devastating it could incinerate monsters attacking from every direction. This was the secret art of the Flame Kingdom, the ultimate defense of the Lord of Baldin. Although Hyunsu was born to the hammer, the Lord saw the soul of a warrior within him. Recalling Instructor Arsen's letter, the Lord was convinced. Hyunsu possesses godlike control over his tools. His understanding of weaponry is profound beyond belief. That was the deciding factor. The Lord desired to pass down the very essence of his martial art to this young prodigy. System alert, hidden skill quest, legacy of the flame. Requirement reach 80% proficiency to unlock the skill. We have no time to waste. Follow me. The path ahead will be just as grueling as the fires of the forge. Another month vanished into the ether. While crafting the horn bow, Hyunsu had barely slept. Now, he had to restore the Lord of Lights' rusted armor while mastering the sword. Through blood and sweat, the training reached its climax. Hyunsu had finally absorbed the teachings. The time for parting had arrived. The Lord looked at his student with curiosity. "Hyunsu, where will the winds of fate take you next?" "It is time to choose my class." Before setting out, Hyunsu organized his inventory. The Lord of Light's armor was low level, yes, but its damage reflection skill turned that weakness into a lethal weapon. Additionally, he had crafted a horn bow that boosted accuracy by 60%. He listed this new masterpiece on the auction house, Hyun's second bow, and the bidding war would be fierce. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the world, a player stared at the item stats, trembling. This is impossible. Even Black, the nation's top-ranked player, couldn't craft something this powerful at level 10. This guy, Hyun, he forged this artifact at level 1 using trash materials. Smith, the world's #1 blacksmith, had a saying, "Aries, the god of crafting, decides all." When a player moves the heart of Aries, they are granted legendary skills and titles. If the owner of Hyun's blacksmith keeps this up, he won't just be good. He will obtain a legendary class title to rival Smith himself. The speaker was none other than Ren, the guild master of the Golden Shield Guild. Back at the auction, the gavel fell. The final price, 2,500 gold coins. Hyunsu was floored. Someone paid 2 million won for a digital bow. The notification sound wouldn't stop. Hyun's blacksmith now had 3,200 followers. His inbox exploded with guild recruitment letters and weapon commissions. Overwhelmed, Hyunsu slammed the interface shut. He focused on his true goal, the sanctuary of the hammer, the blacksmith's tower. Moments later, he stood before the structure, puzzled by the entrance. A system window popped up to guide him. "Welcome to the blacksmith's tower." Ominous music rises. "To prove your worthiness, you must forge a blade in the magic smithy to shatter this seal." The lock appeared to be made of Martian pumice, an indestructible mineral. His gaze shifted to the glowing magic smithy nearby. There, you will learn the blueprint for the key blade. Resources are infinite, tools are divine. Unlike normal forges, time here flows differently, allowing for rapid creation. However, the blades forged here are bound by a singular, cruel rule. They exist solely for the exam to shatter the stone seal with a single strike. Is this truly a test of forging? High within the spire, the blacksmith tower master spills his grievances to the empty air. The noble art of the forge has fallen into ruin. These days, they only seek the hammer to fill their pockets with gold coins. They hold no reverence for the craft. The soul of the blacksmith is dead. They only crave the title for the system's benefits. They believe a few clumsy swings make them masters. Fine then. As long as I provide the bare minimum, my duty is done. Centuries have passed, and not a single soul has severed the seal stone, and I doubt such a prodigy will ever walk these halls again. Meanwhile, Hyunsoo makes a reckless choice. He decides to forge a Damascus blade, a legendary weapon only a master artisan would dare attempt. Even the system frantically warns him to craft a basic short sword. But his eyes are set on something far greater. The materials are here, the knowledge is in his veins. He remembers the technique his father passed down to him, a legacy of steel and fire. As long as he honors his father's teachings, this impossible exam will be nothing but a stepping stone. The facility is a paradise of magical equipment. An infinite supply of rare materials needed for the Damascus steel lies at his fingertips. The magic even accelerates the flow of time itself. This game is truly a miracle. But suddenly, the Tower Master is jolted awake by a terrifying tremor. What is this earthquake? The entire spire is groaning, vibrating in resonance with someone's hammer strikes. A thunderous boom echoes through the halls. The ancient gate, sealed for generations, begins to grind open. Cold sweat drenches the Tower Master's back. Could it be? Has the impossible finally happened? The god of blacksmiths has descended. The Tower Master rushes forward, his voice trembling. I have always judged worth through the stone, but you didn't just cut the stone, you obliterated the seal itself. I have no right to measure a god. He hurriedly guides Hyunsoo to a hidden chamber. This is not a room, it is a summoning circle. Take this hammer. The moment Hyunsoo grips the handle, the world shifts. Double S rank quest activated. This is the true trial, one only you can endure. Survive, O god of blacksmiths. A blinding blue light engulfs him in the blink of an eye. Hyunsoo is torn from the tower and thrown into a hellscape. Damn it. The exam starts without warning. Before he can breathe, the roar of countless monsters shakes the earth. A double S rank quest. Subjugate the invading orc army. Are you kidding me? This is a blacksmith quest. The notification flares red with the victory conditions. To clear the stage, he must achieve 70% of the total contribution clause within a raid group of 50 elite warriors. Subjugation, Captain Hans approaches, his voice grave. It is a relief that reinforcements have arrived. The orc assault on the Flame Kingdom is relentless. Our weapons are shattering against their armor. Can you use your skills to repair our gear? Hearing this, Hyunsoo freezes. Wait, you've misunderstood. I haven't completed my class change yet. I have no skills. The captain's eyes drop to the hammer. Then what is that weapon? This was a gift from the exam. I'm just here for a makeup test. The captain frowns. Do you at least have combat experience? I'm still a beginner. Silence falls over the battlefield. The captain looks devastated. I thought they sent a savior. I didn't expect a rookie we'd have to babysit. The front line is collapsing. Go hide in the watchtower. Just stay out of the way and stay alive. Suddenly, a massive battle axe comes hurtling out of the fog. Instinct takes over. Hyunsoo draws his blade and deflects the lethal blow in a spark of steel. Captain Hans stands there, jaw dropped. Hyunsoo speaks calmly. I may be a beginner, but allow me to join the fray. Without waiting for permission, Hyunsoo marches toward the carnage. If I treat them like the goblins from the tutorial, this shouldn't be too different. Hyunsoo, stick to Bane's squad. I'll cover you. Bane shouts. I'm going in. Suddenly, a hulking orc lunges from the shadows. The killing intent is suffocating, far heavier than any goblin. Is this the pressure of a real war? But I will not fall here. A flash of silver cuts the air. The orc's head is severed cleanly from its shoulders. That month of hellish training paid off. Even Bane is bewildered. You call yourself classless. That strike was masterclass. But the enemy doesn't rest. Another beast swings at Bane. Hyunsoo instantly swaps to his horn bow. He draws the string to its limit and looses a shaft of death. Boom! The impact sends the massive orc flying dozens of meters back. Hyunsoo doesn't stop. He unleashes a storm of arrows. Every single shot finds its mark, a perfect string of headshots. Bane watches an orc get ragdolled by a single arrow. Is that physically possible? The captain roars, "Bane, focus, behind you." An orc is rushing straight for Hyunsu. At this critical second, Hyunsu switches to the Radiance dance, an area of effect weapon that strikes every enemy within a 10-meter radius. In a flash of light, the surrounding orcs are instantly decimated. His contribution score skyrockets to 19%. No wonder Master Leo sent him with this monster on our side. We might just achieve the impossible victory we've always dreamed of. He is truly a legend in the making. Listen up, everyone today. Standing side by side with Hyunsu, we will wipe this orc army from the face of the earth. With Hyunsu leading the charge, the subjugation squad's fighting spirit burns brighter than ever. Yet, amidst the chaos, a strange anomaly catches his eye. Why is his contribution score climbing at a snail's pace? It makes no sense. His kill speed is leagues ahead of everyone else. Suddenly, a hidden quest flashes before his eyes. A scenario never seen before triggers the arrival of a nightmare. Level 51 Orc Warriors. Pure terror grips the squad's hearts. They are finally here. The monsters we were never meant to defeat. Our true nemesis. Too late. They realize the trap has sprung. They are completely surrounded and the path to retreat has vanished. Captain, we are ready today. We either win or we die trying. We can no longer run from this destiny. Men, fight to the death. With a roar that shakes the heavens, the squad charges headlong into the green tide. Hyunsu unleashes a torrent of cover fire from the rear, but horror strikes his arrows bounce harmlessly off the orc warriors. Even with the horn bow's enhanced penetration and accuracy, it is useless. The orc warrior's skin is as impenetrable as solid plate armor. Ordinary archery is completely futile against such defense. Yet, despite the hopelessness, the captain refuses to back down. Disaster strikes in a heartbeat. The orc warrior swings his axe, and Captain Hans's right arm is severed instantly. Damn it, Captain Hans, stay with us. The grim reality settles in. No matter how hard they strike, their weapons cannot scratch the orc's ironclad defenses. Total annihilation seems inevitable. But just as hope fades, Hyunsu's voice cuts through the chaos. Everyone, listen to me. A direct clash is suicide. We need to tighten our ranks and form a defensive perimeter. Now, fall back to the forest immediately. I will cover your rear. Hearing this, Bane wastes no time barking orders. Do exactly as Hyunsu says. Secure the captain and fall back. We need to regroup. Move. Get to the tree line. Bane warns Hyunsu that the dense terrain will slow them down, meaning they can only buy a sliver of time. Can you hold the line for just 5 minutes? Without hesitation, Bane shouts back. We will hold until the bitter end. Moments later, Hyunsu reaches a thick bamboo grove. If standard arrows cannot pierce that armor, there must be another way. His gaze falls upon the tool in his hand, Leo's replication hammer, an epic-grade artifact with a passive skill to duplicate consumables. With its active skill to drastically shorten crafting time, the impossible becomes possible. Back on the front lines, the squad is crumbling under the orc assault. Holding out for 5 minutes is proving to be a deadly challenge. Just as a massive axe descends to deliver the killing blow, thwack! An arrow whistles through the air and pierces straight through the beast's neck. Bane stares in disbelief. What just happened? Hyunsu has returned with a new arsenal. Another arrow flies, instantly obliterating an orc warrior's skull. Hyunsu draws his bowstring once more. Behold the rare grade short arrow. With penetration increased by 70% and flight speed boosted by 60%. Its shortened shaft allows for velocity far beyond ordinary arrows. It possesses terrifying destructive power, capable of shattering solid rock upon impact. Fashioned from split bamboo and forged with the legendary hammer, these shard arrows combined with the horn bow are a lethal combination. There is no defense that can withstand this emboldened. The squad launches a fierce counterattack to create an opening for Hyunsu. Under Hyunsu's relentless barrage, the mighty orc warriors drop like flies, one after another. A system notification rings out. Hyunsu has obtained the title. Orc Slayer attack power against orcs increases by 15%, and the enemy now trembles in fear before him. Overcome with terror, the monsters turn to flee, but Hyunsu has no mercy for them. With the final release of his string, the last arrow finds its mark. A gold notification window materializes. SS rank quest. Subjugate the invading orc army. Complete final contribution score 92%. The system declares a clear with outstanding performance. Cheers erupt from the subjugation squad. They roar his name in triumph, placing their absolute trust in his command. Hidden achievement unlocked. Battlefield leader, 10 charisma points. Acquired. Slowly. The wounded Captain Hans approaches Hyun-soo. I thought I would die without ever seeing an orc warrior fall. I never expected you to pull off such a miracle. Thank you. Truly, before he can even finish, every soldier bows, showing Hyun-soo the highest form of respect. I should be the one thanking you. You helped me complete my quest. Now, let us return to the blacksmith's tower. Meanwhile, deep within the central tower of the blacksmith hall, an elder swordsmith speaks with a heavy heart. The tower's glory is fading into dust. The knights have monopolized all honor and glory, leaving only those blinded by greed to take up the hammer. We are in desperate need of a savior. Someone who possesses a true blacksmith soul. Only such a person is qualified to wield this legendary sword. Countless have tried, and countless have failed. Not one matched the figure spoken of in the ancient prophecy. Long ago, the blacksmith god himself foretold that a successor would one day rise, and under his hand, the craft would prosper once more. A voice drips with sarcasm from the shadows. Is this truly Leo, the only one worthy, or is this just a scam? You summoned the masters here for a mere outsider. The speaker steps forward. It is Kursinen, the master of the archery blacksmith tower. Leo stands firm. Kursinen, did you ignore my letter? He conquered the impossible exam. He has earned the right to face the trial. And he did it without even a class change. He commanded armies and wiped out the orc warriors using nothing but smithing techniques. The crowd gasps in disbelief. 0 casualties. No class change. That trial was designed for the successor of a god, not a mortal. The prophecy sword holds the final answer. Watch closely. Music swells as a subordinate speaks. Master Leo Hyun-soo has arrived. Bring him in. The doors open, and the protagonist steps into the lion's den. Welcome, traveler. You have proven your worth. Now, you stand before the sacred prophecy sword. But Kursinen interrupts with a roar. He scoffs dismissively. That bow was trash. Second rate at best. You only survived on sheer luck and an epic grade weapon. Go ahead. Touch the sword. Let's see if the goddess of luck favors you a second time. Hyun-soo observes them calmly. These aren't just NPCs. They are the legends of Aries, the Tower Masters. Their levels and titles must be astronomical, but fear does not strike him. Strip away the titles, and he knows his skill is not inferior. Suddenly, the prophecy sword erupts in blinding light. The energy shoots straight into Hyun-soo's chest. The blade vanishes into thin air. Confusion reigns, but Leo's face lights up with ecstasy. The prophecy is fulfilled. We prepared rituals for centuries, but the true heir didn't even need to lift a finger. Kursinen grits his teeth in fury. Damn it, I refuse to accept this charlatan. A blue window flashes before Hyun-soo's eyes. Congratulations, you have unlocked the first divine class of Aries. Class change complete, blacksmith god. Hyun-soo is stunned. The very first divine class in history. Unique title acquired SS grade blacksmith god. All material restrictions are now null and void. Proficiency will now skyrocket based on the gear created. You are now the apex of all smiths. New quest reach level 100 to begin the sword trial. Whispers fill the hall. A foreigner chosen by the sword, but Kursinen stands his ground. We masters have waited lifetimes for a revelation, not a glitch. We cannot blindly trust a tool, but Leo fires back. The prophecy is law. Kursinen sneers. I am not being unreasonable. The successor must be recognized by the masters. That is also written in the stars. Therefore, I, Kursinen of the Archery Tower, challenge this outsider to a duel of hammers. Defeat me, or I will never bow to you. Lose, and you strip yourself of that title. Leo tries to intervene, but the room falls silent. The other masters agree. The pressure mounts. You can refuse and take a lower rank. But Hyun-soo doesn't hesitate. I accept. With his new divine crafting skill, he has nothing to fear. A smith speaks through his work. The moment the words leave his lips, the system responds. Blacksmith duel initiated, rank S. Objective crush Kursinen. But this isn't a knight's duel. We pour our souls into steel. We clash with the swords we forge. The first blade to shatter loses. Use the high-tier forge. One day should be enough for a god, correct? If you are who you claim to be. Music rises as Kursinen storms out. Leo senses the tension. Kursinen is a monster among masters. Even with god-tier skills, mastery takes time. But Hyun-soo smiles. You're right. Before, I would have lost. In this world, levels and titles dictate power. But the moment I became the blacksmith god, the hierarchy crumbled. If we talk about pure technique, the difference is now laughable. With divine crafting, reality is his to shape. He can forge miracles with custom effects. However, pushing for higher tier effects sends the crafting difficulty skyrocketing. The success rate for these divine attributes is a gamble, ranging from 0 to 100% based entirely on his mastery. Meanwhile, Kursonen is hammering away at his own masterpiece. This man was once a legendary blacksmith, forged in the fires of tradition. His family had guarded the secret arts of sword forging for generations, a legacy etched into their very bloodline. He inherited the hammer from his father, believing the title of Sword Tower Master was his birthright. But then Leo appeared, a prodigy who shattered his dreams and surpassed him in every way. Initially, he swallowed his pride and accepted Leo's dominance. But he never imagined Leo would bring an utter outsider to challenge his authority again. This is an insult he absolutely cannot tolerate. At the same time, Hyun-soo has already shaped the fundamental vessel of his weapon. Imbuing mystical abilities into cold steel follows the cruel law of equivalent exchange. To seize victory in this duel, he must sacrifice balance to ensure absolute maximum hardness and amplify the weapon breaker ability to its limit. To awaken the ability he craves, he needs to craft a high-grade vessel. Leo watches skeptically, convinced Hyun-soo's stats will cap out at the rare tier. As the newly awakened blacksmith god, show us your true power. Before long, the destined day of the duel arrives. It seems you actually managed to scrap something together in a single day. Let me witness the so-called craftsmanship of the divine heir. Kursonen draws his blade first, the Black Knight, a unique grade masterpiece pulsating with dark energy, hardness. 35% sword, Saint enhancement level 2, passive skill weapon, destroyer, active skill, Black Knight's Radiance. Seeing these monstrous stats, cold sweat runs down Leo's back. Even the spectators erupt in awe. Kursonen is truly a grandmaster to forge a flawless, unique grade dueling sword in just one single night. He has poured every ounce of his family's secret techniques into this blade to ensure total victory. Now, reveal your weapon, but the moment Hyun-soo unsheathes his sword, the crowd falls into a stunned silence. Hyun-soo's first custom sword, rare grade. Seeing this pitiful rank, Kursonen breaks into a mocking grin. Leo, you have bet on the wrong horse this time. Without wasting a second, Kursonen launches a ferocious attack, aiming to end this farce instantly. Hyun-soo calmly swings his blade to intercept. Steel sings against steel. A figure flashes by, and suddenly a sharp crack echoes through the arena. The crowd freezes in absolute shock. The sword lying in fragments on the ground is the Black Knight. How is this possible? A weapon's worth isn't decided by grade alone. Hyun-soo's blade possesses a terrifying secret. Rare grade, special ability, active skill. This sword holds a 65% chance to completely shatter any opponent's weapon upon impact. It is a one-of-a-kind sword breaker. In that moment of defeat, his father's ancient teachings thunder in Kursonen's mind. The blacksmith, God, will descend upon this world one day. That entity will shatter our common sense and rewrite the laws of our craft. We exist only to be guided by him. Simply breaking a sword isn't enough to convince the Tower Masters. No, I must forge a blade capable of severing the very concept of a weapon. Flashing back, even Leo had opposed Hyun-soo's insane theory. The difficulty was simply insurmountable for a mere mortal. But Hyun-soo believes that true legendary equipment is born from three things: unyielding skill, bold choices that defy logic, and the absolute will to crush impossibility. Hyun-soo embodies all of these traits. Blacksmith God. Can I ever reach such heights? Of course. Nothing is impossible in this world. Finally, Kursonen bows his head in true reverence. The archery blacksmith tower master, Kursonen, formally greets the blacksmith god. The moment Hyun-soo completes the duel quest, Kursonen approaches him, offering a heavy treasure chest. Here are 500 gold coins. Please, accept my tribute. And this is a scroll passed down only through the lineage of tower masters. It contains the blueprints for a legendary grade bow. You have obtained one of the 10 great treasures of the blacksmith's tower. The legendary bow's blueprint. Kursonen admits he lacks the divine skill to forge it, entrusting this legacy to Hyun-soo. Only when he walks the path of the absolute strong will its true value be unleashed. Kursonen speaks with profound humility. The blacksmith, God, has finally descended. We mortals must strive to improve. Hyun-soo, I beg of you, Aim for the absolute peak. Go forth and explore the wider world. Your divine legend has only just begun. The scene shifts. Hyunsu recounts the epic events to Jihun. Hearing this, Jihun is flabbergasted. You actually class changed into a divine class. I just thought your crafting skills were too good to waste, so I dragged you into Aries. I never expected you to be a gaming prodigy. So, what changed after ascending to godhood? Honestly, it doesn't feel that different yet. More importantly, reality is calling. I need to pay my father's hospital bills by tomorrow. The costs have piled up to over 10 million won during this time. Jihun brings up the experimental medicine Hyunsu asked about. The situation is grim. That new drug isn't covered by insurance. It's going to cost at least 20 million won. And that doesn't even touch the fees for his burn treatments. You can't make that kind of money just by selling low-level gear. Your stamina effectively caps your income. What you need now is level and reputation. The growth of a god starts now. You need to seek out the most famous rankers in Aries and forge connections with the elite. Only then, by completing quests alongside the strong, will you earn the massive rewards and rare materials needed to save your father. Use these materials, craft equipment that defies the heavens. I have a plan. Once I reach the apex of power, you are coming with me to the top, and meanwhile, the internet is exploding with chaos. Rod, the eternal rank 21, has finally ascended to the legendary tier. Rumors are spreading like wildfire. He faced the Sword King Bar. He actually landed a hit on that absolute monster. The gaming world is in shock. How did he achieve the impossible? The scene shifts. Hyunsu stares blankly at the crushing overdue payment notification on his phone. His mind races. 30 million won a month. Even with quest rewards in the auction house, it feels like shoveling water against the tide. But he cannot abandon his father's treatment. Suddenly, a chime breaks the heavy silence. Sold, Hyunsu's custom blade auctions for 53,310 gold coins. Without wasting a second, he pays the hospitalization fees in full. He rushes back home. His resolve is harder than steel. He cannot stop now. Aries is his lifeline. Meanwhile, Rod sends a message filled with gratitude. It was the sword Hyunsu forged. That blade pierced the impossible defense and allowed him to pass Bar's trial, fulfilling his lifelong dream. Master Hyunsu, if the world knew the true power of your creation, 50 million would seem like pocket change. The blade that created a miracle against the Sword King. Even the mighty Bar was left speechless in that split second. Master Hyunsu, Sword King Bar of the Gyard Kingdom awaits you. He desires a weapon from your hands. You must go to him. The weight of the medical bills is finally lifted. Now, I have a new target. Meet the Sword King and reclaim my stolen blacksmith shop. Elsewhere in the real world, an imposing figure steps out of a black sedan. The final blacksmith of this era, Hyunsu. You have only 1 month left until the deadline. The scene shifts back to the game. Despair hits Hyunsu. The system denies him access. A mere level 10 novice has no right to stand before a king. High-level NPCs demand status and reputation. To face Bar, he needs to be at least level 200. It seems impossible, but there is always a hidden path. The Gyard Martial Tournament, an annual spectacle for warriors between level 50 and 60, and Sword King Bar is scouring the arena for diamonds in the rough. The drums of war are beating. Bar himself will bestow the prize upon the ultimate victor. If you seek an audience with the king, this is your only way. The scene changes. Following Leo's guidance, Hyunsu arrives at the desolate castle territory, the grim border between Twin Flame and Gyard, a living hell where they slaughter the undead day and night. They are desperate for a hero. Castle territory, the absolute front line defending humanity against the endless undead scourge. Leo called this the ultimate grinding spot. No matter the danger, I must complete the quest. Moments later, Hyunsu steps into the domain of death. Immediately, Commander Rand intercepts him. Identify yourself. Are you the reinforcement from the capital? The undead surge is getting worse. In the old days, the sacred Radiance bell was their shield. Whenever it rang, the undead withered, becoming easy prey. The holy sound kept the darkness at bay. But recently, disaster struck. The Radiance bell shattered into useless fragments. Without its protection, they are sitting ducks. The enemy senses their weakness. They are massing for the kill. Hyunsu frowns. Can the artifact not be restored? Actually, I was sent it by the Blacksmith Tower Master, Leo. What? Why didn't you lead with that? We've been praying for your arrival. Take him to the commander now. Moments later, Knight Commander Kyle sizes him up. So, you are the one Leo sent. Then you should know the grim truth. The Ramus Bell is beyond saving. The Lord has summoned countless experts. The verdict is always the same. Shattered, irreparable, hopeless. One expert, a level 290 master, spent days here searching for a solution. She left in failure. It was all in vain. Hyunsu, what is your level? Hearing this, Hyunsu answers honestly. I am level 13. The commander sighs. I don't blame you for coming, but this is a joke. You are too weak. Find some chores you can actually handle. Castle territory stands on the brink of annihilation. When the Undead Legion marches, it will be our graveyard. I will hold the line until my last breath. That is my oath. Suddenly, a soldier screams in terror. Enemy attack. The undead are swarming the eastern wall. The commander's eyes flash with steel. Defend the gate. Hold them back or die trying, Rand. With me. And you? Keep your mouth shut about the bell. Hyunsu watches them leave. It occurs to him that he isn't just a blacksmith. System alert. Territory defense quest. Activated. Slaughter the invaders. Protect the gate. And the battle erupts instantly. Steel meets rotting flesh. Usually, only holy weapons can put them down for good. You have to hit the vital points repeatedly. But then, Hyunsu draws his bow. He looses an arrow. It flies like a streak of lightning. A clean headshot. The undead crumbles to dust. Everyone freezes in disbelief. He killed it. Without holy power. Hyunsu doesn't stop. He unleashes a barrage of arrows. Monsters fall one after another. Incredible, his aim is godlike. Keep this up, and we might actually survive. But just as hope rises, an ominous system window dominates his vision. A new storyline quest suddenly activates. The objective: defeat the giant siege undead. But damn it, this monster is catastrophic. Level 89. That is insane, but the commander has his hands full defending the main gate. He cannot break away now. At this rate, the fortress walls will crumble into dust. In this desperate moment, Hyunu makes a bold decision to draw the enemy's aggro. Without a second thought, he unsheathes his longsword and charges straight toward the Colossus. A blur of steel flashes by, and the surrounding minions are instantly annihilated. Now, it is just you and me, Hyunu screams, successfully drawing the beast's attention and luring it away from the fragile walls. But suddenly, the giant undead raises its massive foot, threatening to stomp him into oblivion. Although Hyunu dodges with agile footwork, he is clearly struggling against the overwhelming pressure. He instantly switches weapons to his horn bow. He draws the string with full force and fires. The arrow strikes straight into the monster's head, but it bounces off harmlessly. It has no effect. Damn it! Physical attacks cannot pierce its defense at all. While Hyunu is stunned, the undead lands a heavy blow, sending him flying dozens of meters through the air. His health points plummet below 10%. A system warning screams at 0%. You will be forcibly logged out. He absolutely cannot let that happen. If he fails this storyline now, he cannot enter the Guillard Marshall tournament. If that happens, his father's hospitalization fees, his own medical costs, and the dream of reclaiming the blacksmith shop, all of it will vanish like smoke. He refuses to return to that dark, hopeless past. He chose this game to change his destiny, so giving up is not an option. In the next second, determination flares in his eyes. He fires a precision arrow, finally piercing through the undead's right leg. But the monster retaliates with a devastating sonic wave. In an instant, Hyunu's health drops to a critical 3%. Facing the beast's relentless assault, Hyunu draws his bow with every ounce of remaining strength. It is not over yet, but then snap, the bowstring breaks. Before Hyunu can even react to the disaster, a giant hand smashes down toward him. His health now stands at a terrified 1%. Damn it, I absolutely cannot die like this. Just as despair sets in, a golden notification window materializes. You have met special conditions, health below 5%. Combined with intense conviction, you qualify as a divine blacksmith. You have acquired a new skill, divine emergency crafting. You must forge a weapon within 20 seconds. Emergency weapons only last for 30 seconds. Without hesitation, Hyunu summons his hammer and begins the forge of his life. This is his final chance to complete the storyline. After 30 seconds of frantic, legendary craftsmanship, Hyunu finishes the weapon at the very last second. With a strike containing all his remaining spirit, he slashes the massive undead is cleaved cleanly in two. Victory. You have defeated the giant siege undead. Your level has skyrocketed to 38 points. This level should be just enough to qualify for the Martial tournament. With a sigh of relief, he collapses to the ground, unconscious. When he opens his eyes again, a crowd has gathered. Hyunwoo, you are finally awake. You are a true hero. Thanks to you, the fortress survived today's crisis. But how on earth did you do it? It is a long story. Besides, no matter how he explains it, nobody would believe the miracle that just occurred. Undead are like evil spirits. They fear holy power the most. Knowing this weakness, Hyunwoo instinctively thought of the four-symbol sword, a legendary blade said to repel evil and dispel disasters. Thanks to his father's lessons on restoration, he was able to manifest this sword into reality for just a moment. Commander Kyle steps forward, pulling a heavy pouch from his chest armor. This is your reward, roughly 2,000 gold coins. Then, he lowers his head. I misjudged you. I assumed you were just another greedy outsider. Please, accept my deepest apology. Hyunwoo smiles, his eyes filled with understanding. Thank you for acknowledging me. With that, Hyunwoo and Kyle's affinity rises to the maximum level. Taking advantage of the moment, Kyle offers a special quest. Please, repair Rama's bell. That strike you made earlier, I felt pure holy power radiating from your sword. If it is you, you might actually succeed. But Hyunwoo shakes his head. Thank you for the offer, but I must travel to the Gyard Kingdom immediately. Panic flashes in the commander's eyes. He mentions a crucial detail. The Lord possesses a legendary mineral. If you repair the bell, he might grant it to you. A legendary mineral. Hyunwoo stops in his tracks. Kyle leads Hyunwoo to a secluded chamber. This is Rama's bell. Hyunwoo stares in shock. This isn't just broken. It is completely shattered into dust. You say you can repair this. Can I really trust your words? Hyunwoo is left speechless by the damage. In the end, he can only nod reluctantly. But suddenly, a sharp, arrogant voice cuts through the air from behind Commander. That bell is beyond repair. Even I, at level 290, could not do it. Can you? You are not a fraud. Are you? Hyunwoo turns, completely dumbfounded. Who are you? And why are you interrupting? I am a blacksmith far superior to you. The commander quickly steps in to mediate. Hyunwoo, this is Na, the master blacksmith I mentioned. She contributed greatly to our campaign against the undead horde. So what a level 38 rookie helps clear some minions and thinks he can repair a divine artifact. I do not know what cheap tricks you used, but this bell cannot be fixed. Do not think you can exploit this territory in its dying state. Nael was once a top commander in the Golden Shield Guild, but she walked away from it all. Why? Because the guild leadership made a reckless decision to hire an anonymous player for an annual salary of 500 million won. It seemed like madness to her. They claimed that Blacksmith Hyen's first sword sold for 50 million and that his recruitment would skyrocket the guild's growth. But Nael knew better. They had been burned by scam artists before. And just as she feared, that previous blacksmith took the money and vanished. Disillusioned and exhausted by the politics, Nael turned her back on the guild forever. She wandered until she reached the crumbling lands of Castle territory. Seeing the suffering of the people here, her honor wouldn't let her leave. She vowed to stay and repair the Ramos bell herself. But at that very moment, Hyunwoo steps out from the shadows to inspect the holy relic. His assessment is brutal. The durability is 0. It is damaged beyond all repair. Without hesitation, Hyunwoo raises his hammer and smashes the bell into pieces. Nael stands there, frozen in total shock. What are you doing? I could have restored that. Her confusion instantly turns to blazing fury. Don't you understand what irreparable means? Hyunwoo counters coldly. Suddenly, the ground shakes. A massive wave of undead begins their final assault on the territory. A Crimson System window flashes before their eyes. Warning territory update initiated. Once the update completes, Castel will become a permanent domain of the dead. Damn it, Nael curses. The land she tried to save is being deleted by the system itself. It's all over, she whispers in despair. Not yet. Hyunwoo interrupts. If we recreate the Ramos bell, the system halts. Do you want to save this place or not? Of course I do, but how? Ignoring her doubt, Hyunwoo sweeps the shattered fragments of the bell into his inventory. Then we protect this place together. The commander draws his sword, vowing to buy them time with his life. Fix the bell, Hyunsu. The fate of Castell is in your hands. The soldiers charge into a suicide mission against the Horde. The scene shifts instantly as the two rush into the dusty smithy. So, what is the plan? Nael demands. Hyunsu grins. When I smashed it earlier, the holy power didn't vanish. The divinity is locked inside the material itself. I'm not going to repair it. I'm going to reforge it into something entirely new. He declares that the reborn bell will be even stronger. Nael is baffled. I've never seen a skill description like that. Real smithing doesn't rely on system skills. Hyunsu scoffs. Let's melt this down. Nael gasps, realizing the truth. Is this madman going to craft a divine artifact by hand? Get over here, I can't do this alone. Meanwhile, high above in the real world, the game developers are watching the data stream. Looks like the Castell update is inevitable. One dev laughs. Did they really think a blacksmith could stop a system event? Players can't fix code. But suddenly, a senior developer leans forward, her eyes glued to the screen. You're wrong. That is no ordinary blacksmith. Back on the battlefield, the commander fights like a demon, but the sheer number of undead is overwhelming. The defense line collapses, just as death seems certain, and hope is extinguished. Gong. A clear, divine toll rings out across the battlefield. Pure holy light erupts, vaporizing every undead within range. The Ramos bell has returned. In the control room, the developer's jaws drop. Impossible. How is this happening? That guy, he actually overrode the system logic. The update is cancelled. The team leader stares at the screen, defeated by one player's sheer skill, but this miracle came at a cost. Hyunsu hasn't slept for a single second since the countdown began. One entire week of grinding. We flash back to 5 days ago. The moment they entered the smithy, the real battle began. They melted the fragments, extracting the holy essence with surgical precision. Hyunsu drafted the divine blueprints while Nael frantically managed the resources. He activates his ultimate technique, divine crafting. This isn't just a production skill, it grants lethal power against the undead. He strikes the metal, infusing it with his burning desire to protect the territory. It is a symphony of steel and sweat, two souls working in perfect unison to birth a legend. 4 days left. 3 days. 1 day. Nael wakes up to the rhythmic sound of hammering. Clang, clang. Hyunsu stands before the completed masterpiece. Suddenly, a notification pops up for Nael, title acquired, The Apprentice. Having witnessed a grandmaster at work, she is left speechless. Could this person truly be... Master Blacksmith proficiency increased by 22%. Can I ask you something? She stammers. Are you... Blacksmith Hyan? That's me, he confirms. The new Ramos bell begins to glow with a blinding golden aura. It is magnificent. It is no longer just an item, it is a work of art. The system displays the stats. Hyunsu's custom bell. Special ability, Undead Purification. It provides a blessing to allies and absolute destruction to the undead. A divine artifact forged from scrap metal. Nael trembles in awe. Because you recreated it, the effects are stronger than the original? I have never seen anyone do this. Overwhelmed, Nael blurts out, Hyunsu, please let me stay by your side forever. Is that a confession? No time for romance, back to the present. With every toll of the bell, the undead army disintegrates into dust. The monsters rout in terror, fleeing the holy light. The new bell has completely wiped out the invasion and halted the server update. The story of Castell can finally continue. We did it. We made it in time. Hyunsu whispers. The adrenaline finally crashes. The hero's eyes roll back, and he collapses into a deep, well-earned slumber. System alert, the quest. Repairing Rama's bell. Its complete rewards are being recalculated. Meanwhile, the internet is absolutely exploding. Rumors are flying that the massive update failure was actually caused by Blacksmith Hyun fixing a legendary item. In the blink of an eye, the name Hyun is on the lips of every single player in the world. Back in reality, Hyunsu finally stirs from his deep slumber. He checks his status window. Eyes widening, he has gained over 101,655 followers. He stares in disbelief. His crazy plan actually worked. Thank the gods he had the foresight to engrave his signature right onto the bell itself. Now, every soul visiting the castle territory will see his name for eternity. Suddenly, the door creaks open. The commander enters with reverence. The savior of our lands has finally awakened. Our lord has sent your reward for the restoration, he announces solemnly. 330,000 gold coins. Hyun's heart hammers against his ribs. That converts to 330 million won. It is enough. He can finally reclaim his father's smithy. But the rewards do not end there. An attendant presents a glowing chest. A personal gift from the Lord, he whispers. Inside lies the legendary mineral oraculum. We are in your debt. The commander bows low. While other outsiders fled in terror, you stood firm and protected our home. It was my honor. Hyun replies humbly. I only did what was right. But forgive me, Commander. I must return to my world immediately. Without wasting a second, he initiates the logout sequence. The digital world dissolves into light. Back in the real world, the massive sum transfers instantly. The recipient stares at his screen in shock. You actually pulled it off, he murmurs. You really are something else. This is Kang Haku, a real estate mogul. His mind drifts back 1 year to the day Hyun-soo was forced to sell his family shop to cover crippling medical bills. His heart heavy with regret, desperate and broken, Hyun had grabbed Haku's arm, begging for a single chance to one day buy the building back. Don't be ridiculous, Haku had scoffed. Why waste a fortune on a ruin? You could buy a brand new building for that price. No, Hyun's eyes burned with resolve. That place holds the soul of my father. I cannot let it go. Moved by his grit, Haku relented. 1 year, he warned. If you are late by even a day, I sell it to the highest bidder. Remember that. I expected you to run, Haku admits. Hyun bows deeply, gratitude radiating from him. Mr. Kong, may I ask you one thing? Why did you wait for me? Haku smiles warmly. Because in all my years, you are the first man crazy enough to buy back his own loss. That fire in your eyes. I wanted to see if you could do it. No thanks are needed. You kept your word. Still, I owe you, Hyun insists. Tell me, are you familiar with the world of Aries? Haku nods. Of course. Everyone plays it. I work as a blacksmith there, Hyun reveals. I would be honored to craft a set of equipment specifically for you. Haku's eyes light up with interest. Custom gear. Can you truly tailor it to my exact specifications? Any effect, any grade? Haku asks. Hyun smirks confidently. Name it. If you can dream it, I can forge it. The scene dissolves. Hyun-soo materializes back into Aries, where a familiar face is waiting Neil. It has been too long since the undead incident, the man says smoothly. Allow me to formally introduce myself. I am the strategic team leader of the Golden Shield Guild, the architect of its rise. And that day, watching you, I became certain of one thing. You are destined for the throne of this world, Hyun, so I will be blunt when you build your own guild. I want to be your first soldier. I would welcome your blade. Hyun nods. But first, I have a meeting to keep. I must find the Sword King. Neil freezes, his composure shattering. Sword King Barad, you intend to seek an audience with one of the 10 legends? Exactly. Hyun confirms, his gaze steely. I am entering the Gaillard Martial Tournament. Legend says Barad himself crowns the champion. It is true, Neil warns gravely. But the competition is fierce. Every rising star in the continent will be there, thirsting for glory. Which is why I cannot lose. Hyun declares, I will win my way. The days fly by, and the morning of the tournament dawns. A booming voice fills the arena. Warriors, outsiders, welcome to the Gaillard Martial Tournament. Prepare yourselves, for the carnage begins now. Asamazat. Monsters are being released. Fight for your lives, and remember, though unseen, His Majesty the Sword King watches your every move. Show him your worth, Goodlu. Suddenly, the ground violently lurches beneath their feet. A colossal shadow falls over the arena. A stone golem rises from the earth. System alerts flash. Trial 1, survive the golem. Time limit 1 minute. Bonus, slay the golem for special rewards. A hush falls over the crowd as they see the stats. Stone golem. Level 109. That level? It's impossible. Before the scream leaves his throat, a massive fist crushes a player into pixelated dust. Damn it. This wasn't in the intel. Panic spreads like wildfire. How can we scratch a monster like that? Yet, Amidst the chaos, Hyunsu stands perfectly still, eyes calculating. High above in the VIP box, an attendant rushes in, pale as a ghost. This golem was meant for the advanced bracket. Your Majesty, the attendant cries. It's a mistake. At this rate, the rookie contestants will be slaughtered. We must halt the tournament. But the Sword King remains seated, his expression unreadable. No. His eyes narrow, locking onto a single figure in the arena. Do you not see it? He whispers, a dangerous smile forming. There is a true martial artist hiding among the sheep. In the blink of an eye, Hyunsu unleashes an arrow at the massive golem, but the beast tilts its head, dodging the lethal strike with terrifying ease. But then, the impossible happens. It is Hyunsu's third custom creation, the Orichalcum short arrowhead, an item designed to return to its master's hand automatically. The crowd freezes in absolute disbelief. Did they just see an arrow fly backward? This was the legendary reward Hyunsu earned from the Castle Territory mission. The mythical Orichalcum, a material that exists only in ancient legends. Its performance defies all logic. Thanks to Hyunsu's precision shot, the golem is stunned for 4 critical seconds. Seizing the moment, the entire raid party launches a chaotic barrage of attacks. But as the dust settles, despair sets in. After that fierce storm of steel and magic, the golem hasn't taken a single scratch of damage. Suddenly, the monster's glowing gaze snaps directly onto Hyunsu. It roars and charges, panic erupts as the other players scatter like frightened ants. The stone golem swings a fist heavy with destruction. A shockwave of immense power sweeps across the arena instantly. Miraculously, Hyunsu switches weapons and blocks the blow just in time, but this small victory is short-lived. With a deafening crack, his long sword shatters into pieces. Hyunsu is hurled dozens of meters through the air. Meanwhile, in the VIP stands, a frantic aide pleads with the Sword King. Your Majesty, that contestant has reached his absolute limit. We must stop the match immediately. But the Sword King remains calm, his eyes unconcerned. Suddenly, the crystal on the field pulsates with an ominous red light. The next second, even the Sword King is shaken to his core. A magnificent blade has pierced straight through the unbreakable stone golem's chest. Divine emergency crafting complete. It is the Damascus Crescent Blade, a weapon born to slice through solid rock like butter. As the stone golem crumbles into dust, the ethereal blade in Hyunsu's hand slowly fades into nothingness. Instantly, a cascade of golden notifications fills his vision. By slaying the invincible golem, Hyunsu rockets up 14 levels in a single breath. A nearby player stares in horror. You actually defeated the stone golem. That thing was coded to be unbeatable. But before Hyunsu can utter a word, exhaustion claims him, and he collapses on the spot. Simultaneously, the system voice booms through the arena. Attention all contestants. Due to a critical error by the organizers, this martial tournament ends immediately. Moments later, news of Hyunsu's impossible victory trends across the entire server. Look closely, there's a signature on the weapon. It's the same craftsman who repaired Rama's bell. In an instant, the reputation of Hyun's blacksmith shop skyrockets to legendary status. Chaos erupts as players demand answers from the game operators, but their complaints vanish into the void. This decision came from Aries itself. However, fate has one more twist in store. The Sword King has officially summoned player Hyunsu. Hearing this, the development team leader turns pale. Doesn't clearing the arena take time? Why summon him so fast? Damn it, looks like we're working overtime again tonight. That player defies all our common sense. We can't predict his actions at all. What happens if Hyunsu's intimacy with the Sword King hits maximum level? If he learns the Sword King's swordsmanship, he won't just be a blacksmith, he'll become a god of the game. But it won't be that easy. The Sword King doesn't grant his favor to just anyone. Meanwhile, unsuspecting of the panic he caused, Hyunsu approaches the majestic palace. Listen well, stranger, you were meant to be rewarded publicly, but due to the accident, we must simplify proceedings. I shall handle this personally. Everyone acknowledges your mastery as a weapon expert. To show my respect, I grant you 13,000 gold coins as a reward. Suddenly, Hyunsu speaks up, his voice cutting through the tension. Your Majesty, I heard you were looking for me. The guards gasp. What did you say? Damn it. How dare you speak so casually to His Majesty? Who do you think you are? I am Hyunsu, the master of Hyun's blacksmith shop. The Sword King raises a hand, silencing his guards instantly. That is correct. He is the guest I have been waiting for. Hyunsu, the blacksmith. Hyunsu bows respectfully. I pay my respects to your majesty, King Bar. Thank you for your patience. Standing before him is one of Aries' 10 legendary figures, Sword King Bar. Hyunsu smiles calmly. My journey here was filled with danger. You must know why I summoned you. Of course. Do you not wish to commission a weapon? Indeed. My request was refused by the Empire's finest artisans and even the master of the sword Blacksmith Tower. Do you truly believe you can handle this task? Suddenly, a crushing pressure descends upon the room, weighing down on Hyunsu's soul. I came here believing in only one thing, and that is my own ability. The Sword King bursts into roaring laughter. What an interesting stranger, bring out the materials I have prepared. I shall bet on your skill. Behold, Centennial Cold Iron, a mineral forged over a century by absorbing pure frost, granting it immunity to both fire and ice. Seeing the legendary metal, Hyunsu's heart races with excitement. This is a treasure that usually exists only in the pages of martial arts novels. The Sword King lays down his ultimatum. I require a weapon of epic grade or higher, one capable of unleashing pure cold energy. If you succeed, I will grant any wish you desire. But if you disappoint me, you will never set foot in the Giyard Kingdom again. The next second, a system quest window flashes before his eyes. The King's Royal Commission has arrived. An S-rank quest to earn the Sovereign's favor. Success means glory. One wish granted. Anything his heart desires. But failure. Permanent exile from the Giyard Kingdom. Sword King Barad has commanded the creation of a masterpiece. This is the golden opportunity to make a request to Barad himself. I will surpass your majesty's expectations. I absolutely cannot fail. The scene shifts. A shadow observes Hyunsu's every breath. It is the Vice Knight Commander of the Guard. Bella. Level 301. Her gaze is heavy, piercing through him. It feels strange being scrutinized by a stranger, yet in this world, suspicion is the norm. After all, trust is a currency no one spends lightly. Bella breaks the silence, her voice cold. Do not mind me. Focus on your craft. He must understand he only has one shot. I will watch him fail with my own eyes. Suddenly, a system notification flashes. The real world is calling. The doorbell rings. Excuse me. An urgent matter has arisen in my world. I must step away. In a flash of light, Hyunsu logs out of the game. It is the landlady. How can I help you? Her face is heavy with guilt. I have decided to sell the house. My husband is critically ill, and we desperately need the funds. I am so terribly sorry. A wave of guilt crashes over Hyunsu. She has always charged him rent far below the market rate. Yet he had missed payments in the past. When do I need to leave? Is within 2 weeks all right? Of course, I will vacate within 2 weeks. Thanks to his recent success in Aries, Hyunsu has amassed a small fortune. He paid his father's medical bills and bought back their old home. But his own treatment has not even begun. What should be his next move? Just then, his phone buzzes. It is Neil. Hyunsu, what are you doing? I had a brilliant epiphany for this quest, so I called immediately. Can we discuss this later? I'm in the middle of Barad's quest, and I just found out I have to move in 2 weeks. Hearing this, Neil is thunderstruck. Do you not grasp the magnitude of this quest? I expect 2 earth-shattering outcomes from this. Right now, the world is buzzing with rumors that the tournament champion and the blacksmith Ian are one and the same. If you suddenly establish a guild without revealing your true identity, imagine the chaos that will ensue. You have received a commission from Sword King Barad himself. He is one of the 10 legendary figures in the world of Aries. Imagine the impact when a legend wields a weapon engraved with your name. This is the moment your value ascends to the heavens. Hyunsu's interest is instantly ignited. Thanks to you, my mind is clear. I will pour my very soul into this. The scene shifts back to the digital realm. Hyunsu logs back into Aries. Immediately, he notices Bella is trembling with anxiety. Why have you returned only now? What is wrong? Has something happened? Her voice cracks. His Majesty. He is trapped within the fire dragon's lair. The news strikes Hyunsu like a hammer. Where did you say the Sword King is? What kind of place is this fire dragon's lair? Bella is too stunned to speak properly. You do not even know the location. She takes a breath and explains. The lair is a hellscape containing every fire attribute monster imaginable. It is the dungeon of Efreet, a place of mesmerizing terror where no one but Sword King Barad has ever returned from alive. But why would he return to such a death trap, especially without the weapon I am forging? Because the target of the king's vengeance awaits him there? A target of vengeance. Meanwhile, deep in the inferno, the Sword King fights a desperate battle in the heart of the lair. If only he could breach that gate. But the blade in his hand is failing him. It lacks the power to carve a path forward. At least his subordinates have evacuated safely. Now, he must survive until reinforcements arrive. I should have waited, he thinks. I should have waited until Hyun-soo finished the masterwork before stepping into this hell. Thoughts of his son drift into his mind. If my son Ben were still alive, he would be about Hyun-soo's age by now. Years ago, Ben and the Sword King conquered this lair together, but tragedy struck, and his son perished in the flames. Ben believed that conquering the Fire Dragon's lair would finally make him a son the Sword King could be proud of. But his strength was not enough. In the end, Ben died with eyes full of regret. In that moment, the Sword King's heart was shattered beyond repair. If only I had waited for the new sword. Things might have been different. But he could not let Efreet escape again. The Sword King has waited an eternity for the beast to show itself. This chance might never come again. Back at the forge, Bella's voice trembles with emotion. Since the prince's death, the king has lived only to hunt Efreet, but the beast hides well. This may be His Majesty's final stand. Frankly, I find it hard to trust a stranger like you. But the king chose you for a reason. As a knight of the Gyard Kingdom, I beg of you, please save His Majesty. In the next heartbeat, a Crimson System window materializes. Emergency quest, save the king. Rank S. Sword King Barad is cornered in the Fire Dragon's lair. Objective forge a blade powerful enough to rescue a legend. I never imagined a legend like Barad carried such pain. The story resonates deep within Hyun-soo, reminding him of his own past. He clenches his fist until his knuckles turn white. I will give this everything I have. The legend says the heat in Efreet's lair is intense enough to melt even the finest steel, but Hyun-soo is ready to face the fire. I must surpass perfection itself. My focus narrows entirely to the essence of ice. His understanding of the centennial cold iron reaches a new breakthrough. Suddenly, the soul of the blacksmith god awakens, pouring every ounce of passion, determination, and empathy into the hammer. He enters a trance. Hyun-soo's first legendary grade sword is being born. The scene shifts abruptly. Bella bursts into the smithy, panic written on her face. Is the weapon ready? Naturally. There is no time to lose. They rush to save His Majesty, King Barad. Deep inside the Fire Dragon's lair, the Sword King doesn't hesitate. The moment he enters, he lunges at the Demon Lord. Ifrit, I have waited decades for this moment. Amidst a blinding storm of blade flashes, Ifrit's massive body is severed instantly. But despair strikes quickly. The monster regenerates the fatal wound in a heartbeat. Ifrit retaliates. A massive shockwave blasts Barad back dozens of meters, and cursed flames begin to devour his weapon. In the blink of an eye, his blade melts into nothingness. The Fire Dragon's inferno encases Barad, sealing his doom. Damn it. Is this the end? Just as the king calmly accepts his demise, a miracle occurs. Clang, a magnificent longsword blocks Ifrit's claw. Ice blooms, freezing the deadly flames instantly. Hyun-soo has arrived just in time. Bella screams over the roar of battle. Your Majesty, quickly use that sword. Barad grasps the hilt. It is Hyun-soo's masterpiece, legendary grade. Augmented durability and devastating ice damage tailored for this very beast. Active skill Frostflower. The first legend forged specifically for you, King Barad. Wield it to your heart's content. The king unleashes the skill immediately. Thousands of ice shards bombard Ifrit, shredding the air itself. But the assault is not over yet. Barad vanishes, reappearing behind the beast. One strike with full power, Ifrit is cleaved cleanly in two. The lair boss has finally fallen. However, Ifrit's corpse begins to glow with volatile energy. The air trembles. It is a self-destruct sequence. The monster intends to take everyone down with it. Yet, Barad stands still, refusing to flee. Bella cries out in terror. Your Majesty, we must evacuate. It's dangerous, please. Pull back. That is an order. Stay back. I will end it here. Bella freezes, torn between her knight's oath and the horror of watching her king walk to his death. Suddenly, Hyun-soo steps past her. I will bring him back. Utilizing divine emergency crafting, he forges fire-resistant armor in seconds. Your Majesty, put this on. Stranger, leave now. You completed your quest. Go. But Hyunsu stands firm. My quest isn't done until I escort you back safely. I am not going back. My son died because of me. How can I go on living? The confession hits Hyunsu hard. Do you think your death would bring him peace? You know nothing. You cannot understand the pain of losing a child. Hyunsu lowers his voice, speaking from the heart. True, I don't know the pain of a father, but I almost lost my family too. My father lies in a coma. Every day I pray for his eyes to open, but I am grateful he is simply alive. I believe your son feels the same watching over you. Please, put down that heavy burden. The words pierce Barad's heart. Don't you want to be a father he can be proud of? The Sword King's eyes tremble. Sir, you are right. I cannot shame him even in death. Let us return together. Rescue successful, but the flames consume Hyunsu's health bar. Force logout triggered. I'll be back soon. Barad collapses from exhaustion as his savior fades away. The penalty is severe. Hyunsu's level drops by 1. In the real world, a single tear falls from his cheek. I will keep moving forward. For you, Father. The scene fades. 3 days later, Sword King Barad finally awakens. His first command summoned Hyunsu immediately. I called you here for answers. I know you Outlanders are beings who cannot truly die. It is the law of your existence. But I am not afraid of death. Why? Why risk real pain to save me? 2 reasons. First, I hope your Majesty can live on carrying your burden, just as I carry mine. Second, I figured a king would give a generous reward. Barad lets out a rare, genuine chuckle. Honest, you are right. I intended to reward you regardless. This is the true value of the blade you forged. Hyunsu freezes. The system notification flashes 1 million gold coins. Barad speaks softly. You saved my life. This price is cheap in comparison. I will strive to live on. When I finally meet Ben in heaven, I won't feel ashamed. I hope you continue your struggle as well. Your father will wake up. I believe it. But may I ask a favor? Will you visit this old man sometimes? I want to hear of your journey. I want to know the people you meet. Hyunsu nods without hesitation. Of course. I also want to hear your stories. Your Majesty. You will amaze me. Barad smiles warmly. Then, would you do me the honor of becoming my friend? Intimacy with Barad has hit the absolute limit. The legendary blessing, friend's protection, is about to descend upon him. Naturally, Hyunsu accepts this honor without hesitation. To commemorate this historic bond, the Sword King makes a shocking decision. He will personally instruct Hyunsu in the art of the blade. Hearing this, Knight Commander Benson is left reeling in disbelief. My liege, you intend to teach your divine swordsmanship to an Outlander? Oh, again, it was controversial enough when Lord Rod was appointed your successor. This breaks all protocol. To inherit your Majesty's techniques, one must possess the proper lineage and qualifications. Barad raises a hand, silencing him. Rest assured, I do not grant power blindly. Suddenly, a system window flashes gold S-grade hidden quest, the Sword King's Legacy. The condition is simple but brutal. To learn the technique, Hyunsu must land 3 valid hits on the Knight Commander himself. Failure is not an option. It means losing the Sword King's trust forever. Benson draws his weapon, eyes cold. Very well, I will test if you are truly worthy. During the 2-day preparation period provided by the system, Hyunsu handles his business in the real world. He pays off his father's crushing medical debt and moves to a secure new home. He even thanks his landlady before leaving his old life behind. The scene shifts. He treats his best friend, Jihun, to a feast of premium barbecue. Then, he slides a gift box across the table. Inside are the country's most exclusive, limited edition sneakers, a token of gratitude for Jihun. After all, without Jihun dragging him into the world of Aries, Hyunsu would never have found his destiny. Moments later, back in the game, the duel begins. Draw your weapon, Hyunsu. Benson's aura flares. Being the king's friend grants you no mercy here. Calmly, Hyunsu pulls a simple stone from his pocket. I expect none. The next second, the stone erupts with blinding light. It twists and warps. transforming into a sleek longsword in Hyunsu's grip. Benson scoffs, I expected magic, but that it is just an ordinary piece of steel. With a roar, the commander lunges one strike upon impact. Hyunsu's sword instantly begins to crack. Fool, how dare you bring such a fragile toy to a duel? But as the blade shatters with a resounding crack, the trap is sprung. The fragments do not fall, they accelerate, blasting into Benson like a shotgun shell. Hyunsu dusts off his hands. The quest required 3 hits. By my count, those shards struck you 59 times. That counts as a pass, right? Benson is stunned. This unconventional warfare. Who are you truly? Hyunsu grins. I am the god of blacksmithing. The realization hits Benson like a truck. His hostility vanishes, replaced by pure awe. A legendary crafter, please honor me by learning this swordsmanship. Time flies like an arrow. 2 weeks pass in a blur of intense training, drastically improving Hyunsu's basic combat movements. However, a wall blocks his path. His level is too low to comprehend the advanced techniques, capping his progress at Chapter 3. The Sword King nods. When you possess the strength to match the power, I will teach you the rest. The tutorial is over. Moments later, Hyunsu approaches the Sword King with a critical request. He needs Centennial Cold Iron to forge a masterpiece. But Barad shakes his head. The sword you hold was made from the very last ingot I possessed. Hyunsu freezes, his hopes cracking. My entire plan, ruined. But the Sword King laughs. Do not despair. The ore does not grow on trees, but it sleeps within the earth. Why not extract it yourself, go to the mines, and take Bella with you? It is time she saw the world outside these walls. Bella bows. I understand. I shall follow your command. Meanwhile, the internet explodes. News that the Sword King has conquered the Fire Dragon's lair spreads like wildfire, but eagle-eyed viewers notice a detail on his weapon. The blade is engraved with a single signature Hyun. Instantly, the search term Blacksmith Hyun trends globally. Players are scrambling to find this mystery master. Hyunsu feels the heat. His follower count smashes through the 310,000 mark overnight, all because of the Sword King's unintended endorsement. The world is desperate to know him, but Hyunsu knows that fame is a double-edged sword. He must remain in the shadows to complete his goals. Before heading to the frozen north, he remembers an old promise. He sends a message to his VIP client, Kang Haku. At that very moment, Kang Haku is scrolling through the news, staring at the Sword King's victory with envy. As a top-tier player, he has challenged the Fire Dragon's lair dozens of times. But every time, his expensive gear melts like wax. Money can buy items, but it cannot fix this fatal weakness. Ping A notification appears. It is Hyunsu. Hello, boss. I am ready to fulfill that weapon order we discussed. Kang Haku blinks. He had almost forgotten the rookie blacksmith. Right. The custom order. Any changes to the specs? I'm starting production now. Haku sighs. His interest peaked, but skepticism high. No changes. But tell me, what is your crafting level? Level 59, comes the reply. Haku freezes. 59. It is pitifully low compared to the Grandmasters. Still, he feels a strange tug of intuition. He looks back at the Sword King's blade on his screen. I should really try to find this Blacksmith Hyun character, but rumors say he rejects all commissions. I have no choice. I will gamble on the rookie. Scene shift. Hyunsu arrives at the desolate frost mine. A system alert chimes. First player discovery experience gain is doubled for 1 week. This is the jackpot. Double experience. The gods are smiling on me. He turns to his companion. Bella, have you been here before? No, she replies, eyes wide. This is my first journey. Suddenly, a voice booms. Halt who dares enter this restricted zone. A rugged worker blocks their path. Bella calmly produces a golden token. We act on royal authority. The worker's eyes bug out. The royal seal, apologies, I am Da, the head miner and blacksmith here. Welcome. However, my father holds the title of mine supervisor. I will escort you to him immediately. Hyunu's gaze shifts to a cavern entrance, rippling with a magical barrier. Are those monsters lurking within? Precisely. A fascinating sight, is it not? Rumors claim the mine is infested, but the truth is, A powerful mage sealed every beast inside this shaft 100 years ago. Hyunwoo's keen eyes spot the glimmer of centennial cold iron embedded in the creature's hides. Correct. But beware, greed in this place invites only suffering. Beyond that barrier lies their domain, easy to breach, yet nearly impossible to escape. A tragedy, really, considering the abundance of rare resources within. Moments later, the guide leads the duo to his father, Supervisor Craig, before turning to depart. Yet, he does not leave. He lingers in the shadows, listening intently, burning with curiosity about these strangers' sudden arrival. Meanwhile, Hyunwoo introduces himself and Bella to the stern Supervisor Craig. The old man eyes the outlander suspiciously. State your business. I seek centennial cold iron, or perhaps ore of an even superior grade, superior to this. Such treasures exist, but Craig has no intention of revealing them to Hyunwoo, especially not to a greedy outlander. If word got out that this mine held such legendary materials, the entire region would descend into absolute chaos. However, this outlander bears a royal permit. I must devise a strategy to make them retreat of their own accord. Tell me, boy, have you mined before Hyunwoo admits he has not? Listen well. A veteran miner extracts 3 ore types daily. If you can refine 40 distinct minerals within 1 week, I will share my secrets. At this precise moment, the system chimes. Quest alert: collect 40 mineral types within 1 week. Quest rank level 1. Quantities vary by type. Penalty for failure: you will be permanently barred from obtaining anything beyond centennial cold iron. Description: prove your worth as a miner by extracting 40 or more varieties of ore. Well, do you accept this impossible wager? I accept. But what if my count exceeds 40? Preposterous. If you achieve such a miracle, I will mine the ore for you myself. Then I shall see you in 1 week. Bella is perplexed. Hyunwoo, why take such a risky bet? Because if I propose it, it means victory is already in my grasp. I will obtain that superior ore, no matter the cost. 1 week later, Craig is baffled. Hyunwoo has remained in the depths for 7 days without surfacing. Suddenly, a silhouette emerges from the darkness. The deadline has arrived. Now, display your harvest. Without a word, Hyunwoo opens his spatial pocket, unleashing a cascade of minerals. Craig's eyes widen in disbelief. Before him lies a mountain of 200 different ore types. What is this sorcery? Are you a legendary miner in disguise? Not at all. I am merely a blacksmith. Behold the Damascus pickaxe, a masterpiece forged by Hyunwoo solely for excavation. A tool birthed from a Damascus sword, capable of shifting forms at will. Craig slowly finds his voice. I see now. You conquered the task not as a miner, but with the ingenuity of a smith. I apologize for my disrespect. Please, allow me to host you for dinner tonight. I am honored. May Bella join us? Absolutely. The scene shifts to the banquet. The crowd buzzes with questions. Did you truly extract 200 types indeed? And the cold iron? How much? Roughly 20 pieces. The miners gasp in shock. Your pickaxe is the talk of the camp. May we see it? Certainly. Hyunwoo summons the weapon instantly. This is the Damascus pickaxe, engineered for heavy mining. It amplifies mining efficiency by 200%. Watch closely. It transforms into a sword, yet retains the power to cleave through solid stone. Incredible practicality. Just like that, Hyunwoo seamlessly integrates into the mining clan. The scene shifts deeper underground. Craig points into the abyss. Down there lies the millennial cold ice. Hyunwoo freezes, his heart skipping a beat. Is that area not sealed by the barrier? It is. The millennial cold ice rests there, but it is guarded by a horde of monsters. It is a death trap. That danger is irrelevant to me. You must decide your own path. Suddenly, a crimson warning flashes. A new narrative arc begins now. Alert. The barrier established by Mage Baron 100 years ago has shattered. The seal has dissipated. The monsters, imprisoned for a century, awaken with a vengeance. 3 minutes until total breach. Hyunwoo screams, evacuate immediately. The barrier is collapsing. Get the workers out now. Impossible, that seal has held for 100 years. The earth screams as violent tremors tear through the mine. Damn it. Mineshaft 16 has collapsed. Run, everyone. Move. The horde is coming. But Craig hesitates. The mine's automated defenses have triggered. We must save those trapped in the lower shaft before we flee. But according to the quest timer, the beast tide is imminent. What is the right choice? New quest. Prevent minor casualties. Number of survivors, 96. Rewards are calculated based on the survival count. Damn this system. Measuring human lives as mere currency for rewards. Do the people of Aries mean nothing but data to you? Rage burns in Hyunwoo's eyes as he draws his blade. Bella, slaughter anything that leaks past me. We Outlanders, we do not fear death. I will hold the line in the shaft as the barrier falls. An ocean of monsters floods from the darkness, their fangs bared. Can I stop this tide with only the Damascus sword? It might be impossible. I need a new weapon. Right now, it is time to gamble more ore on emergency crafting. Abusing this skill invites disaster, but he has no choice. Hyunsu triggers the skill instantly. A heavy cold iron greatsword materializes in his grip. The ground shakes with a thunderous boom. A massive horde of monsters materializes from the shadows. Hyunsu does not hesitate. He swings his massive blade, standing as a lone guardian. As long as I draw breath, none shall pass. He unleashes the active skill. Frost Storm. In a heartbeat, jagged ice spikes erupt from the earth, impaling the monsters through their chests. The cold iron greatsword dissolves into light, its durability spent. Weapons crafted from high-grade materials truly pack a punch, but the mine is still swarming with enemies. His thoughts turn to the miners, those desperate souls risking everything to salvage rare ore. To Hyunsu, these are not just mindless NPCs. They are fathers and husbands protecting their families, and he swears to keep them safe. Acting as bait, he draws the horde's attention, luring them deep into an abandoned cavern. He swaps to his Damascus sword and dives into the fray. Steel sings in a deadly dance, obliterating every beast that dares to approach. A shadow strikes from his blind spot, but Hyunsu is faster. He counters with a lethal slash, followed by a crushing blow that ends the creature instantly. Surrounded on all sides, Hyunsu steadies his breathing. It is time to unleash the king's swordsmanship. A single, perfect stroke cleaves the circle of enemies in twain. Grand sword attacks now deal an additional 100% damage. Melee strikes inflict an extra 140% damage. The raw power of this technique defies all logic. Finally, the battle ends. Hyunsu collapses, utterly drained. The system chimes stage cleared. All 96 miners have survived. A perfect clear. By successfully guiding Supervisor Craig, he has unlocked the potential for legendary rewards. Suddenly, a cunning plan sparks in Hyunsu's mind. Meanwhile, on the surface, the miners escape to safety. Panic sets in when they realize their savior is missing. They rush back into the dark depths, searching desperately until they find him. Hyunsu lies slumped against the rock. He is alive, but barely. Suddenly, he grabs Bella's arm with dramatic flair. Wait, he gasps, playing the martyr perfectly. It was hell. But the monsters are gone. Is everyone safe? Craig tears up, overcome with guilt. We ran and left you behind. Hyunsu smiles weakly. Don't apologize. We are family now. Craig bows his head in reverence. I will never forget this debt. Beside them, Bella watches, utterly confused by his theatrics. What is this guy up to? She thinks. As they carry him out like a hero, a hidden notification appears. He has earned the eternal gratitude of the miners. His reputation skyrockets. The plan worked perfectly. Behind Craig's back, Hyunsu flashes a sly thumbs up to Bella.